Since trans men are real men, I would like to challenge the 10 toughest trans men in the world to a fight. I fight each of them with no training camp and no rest between each fight. We are about to see one of the biggest hypocrisies from the left unfold before our eyes. If trans men are real men, why are so many people on the far left calling Jake Shields a coward for wanting to fight them? People are calling me a coward for challenging 10 biological women to a fight. The same people calling me a coward are pushing to allow men in women's sports. Do they really not see their own hypocrisy? And the answer, Jake, is no, they don't. Most of them don't, or they do and they're just afraid to speak the truth or else be murdered emotionally, mentally by the mob. Also, I do love that Jake is a bit of a troll as he posted this. Bud Light just contacted me and offered to sponsor all the trans athletes. Trans guy fighter Macbeg said to Jake Shields, "I'm specifically going to beep you up," which this guy now deleted his post. And I wonder why he deleted it. Maybe because common sense has come to fruition after all for some of these people. This is gonna sound like a very weird comparison, but a few years back, I remember a YouTube friend of mine at the time was wanting to do a video about trans men going topless on his channel. My response, of course, was one of those guys still has breasts. Like, why would YouTube allow that? That's technically not allowed by YouTube standards. And his answer was, well, what are they gonna do about it? Are you gonna delete the video and then be called a transphobe, YouTube? And YouTube left the video up. Basically just a really great example of extremism and I guess using it to your own advantage, or at the very least pointing out the hypocrisy of it all. This is an excellent push by Jake. Make the progressives eat their words, basically. Let the rest of them call each other transphobic. I honestly don't know how much longer this is going to last. It's been going on quite a few years now, but there are a ton of far leftists or progressives, whatever you want to call them, that are still pushing for this. Brittany Greiner was just recently asked about this, and here's what she had to say.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat, or they can't be who they are, or like it's just all eyes on them. I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason.
Which our friend Riley Gaines responded to that on Twitter, and she said, which NBA team would love to have Brittany Greiner? Since apparently the overwhelming obvious differences between men and women should simply be overlooked. Heartbreaking to see athletically successful women take this demeaning stance. And this is of course true. How many NBA teams would have Brittany Greiner, no matter how tall she is? She is the tallest and possibly one of the best WNBA players, rather, and still no chance. And no one is banning trans people from playing sports. What is happening is a thing that I like to call moral discrimination. Being discriminatory is not always a bad thing. Let me read the definition. Discriminatory: making or showing an unjust or prejudiced distinction between different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity, sex, age, or disability. Not everything needs to be inclusive. There's a reason why we have actual safe spaces for females, for kids, for young women, for young girls. There's a reason why a lot of sports are age gated, why there are kids sports teams and adult sports teams. Are they technically discriminatory? Yes, but morally so. You don't want to see 10-year-olds playing football against 20-year-olds. You don't see heavyweights fighting against featherweights. More Americans are in agreement as of late, which makes me very happy. Take a look at this poll posted by the Washington Post recently. I think it was in December. It says most Americans say trans women and girls should not, or trans women and trans girls should not be allowed to compete in sports with other women and girls. Youth sports, 62% should not be allowed. People said that they should not be allowed. High school sports, 66%. College sports, 65%. Professional sports, 65%. That makes sense that there's a little bit more who are inclined to believe that trans girls compete in youth sports because, again, it's the puberty argument. If you have not gone through male puberty yet, you technically really don't have an advantage. Schools across England are also set to no longer allow trans girls to compete against biological girls. Transgender pupils will be barred from competing against children of opposite biological sex in PE lessons, that's physical education, under new government plans. The guidance, which is expected to be released within the next few weeks and will apply to all state and independent single-sex school in England, aims to protect girls' safety and ensure fair competition in sports. Thank you. Obviously, I am very grateful, and hopefully we all are, for the people that stepped forward over the last few years to fight against this insane gender ideology. Recently, I came across this video of a young woman that was speaking out against this in her school. Beautiful video, take a look.
But what about the women? What about the true girls like myself who are female down to our DNA? Why don't we ever get a say in whether or not we are comfortable with this? The truth is, we aren't. The majority of us aren't, and yet nothing has been done to protect the safety of these women.
But unfortunately, this is not the same everywhere. Like Australia is Australia. It is not England. They are not as smart, apparently. And they recently told an independent news website, Redux and the Publica, who is now owned by Dr. Sydney Watson, a friend of mine. If you want to go and check out her new website, link is in the description below, that they had to delete an article published because it offended a trans activist. Australian government instructs independent news outlet to delete article that offended trans activist. Riley Dennis, who I'm sure you all know because I've done videos criticizing Riley and Riley's beliefs before, was playing in Australia, or is playing in Australia on an all-women's soccer team. She is a trans woman. Apparently the team had received over 12,000 complaints via email of Riley's participation in this all. Redux and the Publica, like I said, have made a story on it, and were told via Twitter to remove the article because it offended said trans activist. Let's look at the email they got. Hello Redux, in interest of transparency, we're writing to inform you that Twitter has received a request from the e-safety commissioner regarding your Twitter account, blah blah blah, that violates the laws of Australia. Notice how they don't claim or tell them what law they're actually violating, by the way. In order to comply with Twitter's obligation under Australia's local laws, we have withheld this content in Australia. They're not publishing that tweet in Australia, or that article, or whatever it is. I guess that tweet. You can't even criticize these people. Like, this is insanity. Literal communism. No freedom of speech. And remember, if you do criticize them and you do speak out publicly, this is what happens when she spoke out on competing against Leah Thomas in college on the swim team.
This way.
Yeah, you fucking transphobic bitch. I fucking see you.
It's just me. I'm good. I'm good. You got me. I'm good.
I actually filmed this next part of the video with my friend Olivia back in December when I was in LA. She is amazing. She was a wrestler in high school and wrestled against all the boys, and she has a lot to say about this topic. You used to be on Team USA wrestling. This is crazy. I didn't even know that you did this. I can see it though. I can see it because I can feel.
Why do you think I turned like bi? Like they're like. Okay, I'll get into it, but like
I smell too much or something.
That, but also like so like when I was on a collegiate women's wrestling team, we were all like a little bit gay. Like it's like softball. It's like but like even worse. Anyways.
Oh, and you joined the boys team because there was not a girls team.
There was not a girls team.
Okay.
I walked into the wrestling meeting and thought there was a girls team because there was like 5 or 6 girls in there. I go to practice, I find out that they were all trying out for the spot of the team manager. And so I'm like, oh shit. So my dad was like, were the girls there? I was like, yeah. And so he was like, okay with it. And then he walked into my first practice and just sees me wrestling around on the mat with a bunch of sweaty dudes.
This was your choice.
Yeah, it was my choice going in, knowing I had a disadvantage. And also there was no other option. So I wasn't like, there wasn't a female alternative for the wrestling team at my school. And before I was into politics and everything, within the last couple of years, I, made local headlines and was locally known for that girl who wrestles boys. If I was a boy, I would probably be considered like an average wrestler. So for a guy, like that was pretty good, but it was exceptional because I was a girl, beating and winning against guys.
Even if you win against one guy,
yeah.
I feel like that's exceptional.
I won against a lot. Scholastic wrestlers, anyone who wrestled in high school or college knows that before the season you have to do weight certifications, and that's when you go to a big building and you weigh in front of everybody and they take a pinch of your body fat and measure your body fat percentage, and then from those calculations they calculate how much weight you can safely lose. The first season I cut like 40 pounds. It was a lot.
Wow.
But there was different requirements for men and women. So women, the few female wrestlers that were in like the whole state or whole county whenever we did weight certifications, we could only go to like 12 or 15% body fat, but men were certified to go to 9% because we have biological differences.
Yeah,
like you need body fat to have like reproductive, like your organs. Yeah.
You will lose your period.
I actually did at one point because I did go below that requirement.
You'll stop having a period.
Yeah. So that's something that a lot of people don't even realize because they were like, well, well, what if we had weight classes? Because they hear about me beating guys, because it's not like we were different sizes. We were in the same weight class. I wrestled.
But that
like,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because I still had less muscle and I still had a higher percentage of body fat, even if we both cut to the same weight.
So, I mean, you have direct experience
Yeah.
with this, right? What do you think, like, where do you fall on the trans women in sports debate at the moment? Because,
Get the fuck
right? The newest study says that trans women that have gone through puberty for whatever amount of time, doesn't matter, but have also been on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, doesn't matter if they had surgery or not, if they've been on estrogen for a certain amount of time and testosterone blockers, I think it's 2 years or 3 years,
Yeah.
they lose about 30% of their muscle mass. But that still is not enough to compare to being similar to
Not even a little
biological
bit.
woman.
A person who naturally has bigger hands, bigger lungs, they can breathe in more, they have better cardio,
all of
longer arms, like even if you have 30% less muscle mass, all those other things are still relevant and still give you an advantage. So honestly, fuck you, because I don't feel bad for you if you get hated on or discriminated against. Like, I don't feel bad for Leah Thomas when people complain about like transphobia. Like,
Also, special thanks to Caitlyn Jenner for launching her very own not-for-profit speaking out against this nonsense. It's called Fairness First PAC, and their tagline is "Keep boys out of women's sports." We are a movement non-partisan in nature with the intention of empowering parental rights, especially in light of radical gender ideology infiltrating our schools and children, especially in sports and the classroom. We value protecting young children and the parental rights associated with having your young children go through the indoctrination, instruction in school, and unfair advantages of biological boys competing against girls in sports. We love to see it, Caitlyn. We love it. If you are new to this channel, make sure to click subscribe. We are pretty much the only lesbian YouTube channel that is fighting against this ridiculous gender ideology. I am just so sick of it all. And other than that, I will see you guys back here on Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves. Don't stop criticizing these people. Bye.